Hello and welcome. I'm Loquid, you are you, and this is Stellaris modded out. Or will it be? In very recent news, as of June 1st, 2016, Stellaris 1.1, the Clark patch, is out. We are running on it right now. If I hit the escape button, you can see Stellaris version 1.1.0, parentheses ED47, parentheses. Yeah, and as a result, that broke about 80% of our mods. Anything from Colonize Unlimited to the Grand Shipyard to just about everything. However, things still do seem to be working, so I'm not sure if it's actually working properly or what. We still have the colony here. Things are still building. I can still, see that, the percentages on these, the barons are 80% and stuff like that. So I'm going to continue just doing a little bit of administrative stuff here while I read out what is going on with the 1.1 patch. Now, you might see, like it just did there, the game scrolling to the left. That's because I'm moving to my screen to the right here to scroll up and down on my web browser to read the patch notes. So, without further ado, let us get going. We are building in Calmore the huge assembly shipyard. All right, okay, we're building a colony ship out of here. We are building, what are we building here? We're upgrading here. Okay, that's this guy right here. We got a science ship still doing some searching and surveying. We got a construction ship doing nothing, and we've got a bunch of these guys. Oh goodness, that was silly of me to do. Dang it! Arrgh! Yeah. All right. You know what? Since nothing's happened, I'm going to reload that real quick. Features: strike craft attack behavior has changed. So, hopefully, the battleships and cruisers will now actually fight and actually do something worth a damn. There's no guarantees. It's just kind of a hope, right? Right. All right. Let's move these guys. Come on, move you guys up there. It is no longer necessary to control planets. Ooh, nice. Yep, those don't work. Not a surprise. Extreme greenhouse harnessing? What? Let's take shield hit points 5%. More trait points. Fantastic. All right. As I said, it is no longer necessary to control planets to demand them in war, but controlling planets that are set as war goals now generates more war score. That is fantastic, so we won't have to, like we did with the Fallen Empires, take every single planet that they own just to kick them out, which I think is actually really great. Okay, let's move these guys there. Lift these guys off. Alright, so we want to land there. It is now possible to set a custom ruler air title where your custom... Oh, I'm sorry about that. For your custom empire. It is now possible to write a biography for your custom empire. Ooh, fancy stuff. Getting into the EU and Crusader Kings territory there. Come on, where are they at? They're right there. All right. Added an influence reward for establishing communications or conversely being contact. So that is a one-time thing. Obviously, when you find a civilization that you've never seen before. Collection of strategic resources on planet tiles is no longer suppressed by buildings, and I think we've seen that before. Right? So, if we come in here, right? So, like this guy here, this carbon dioxide, that's happening because of the what is that? The carbon dioxide mine. But if there was like, say, Betharian stone or something there, and I put a power plant there, it would previously you would not be able to. Well, if there was minerals there and you put a power plant there, you would now get the minerals plus the energy. So it kind of pays to build in a place where you're not previously. Well, no. Now it pays to build something where otherwise it would be useless. All right. You
Construction complete.
Added setting for AI aggressiveness in the galaxy setup screen, so you can now tell at the beginning of a game the game on how aggressive you want the AIs to be. Whoa, lots of buildings being completed. Military, nice. Okay, let's go for kinetic weapon damage up. Kind of endgame tech. Ooh, okay, sure, research it. So yeah, you can tell, if you want all the AIs to be more aggressive or less aggressive, things like that, because as we've seen right now, they're pretty damn stagnant. I mean, yes, they do go to war every once in a while, but for the most part, they are very stagnant, and they generally don't do things. Okay, no, that's not where we want to be. We want to be here. Yes. All right. All right, these ones can group up. Shipwright mandate for democratic empires has been reworked. Added resource reward to raid on smugglers' events. Fantastic. Individualist empires would no longer generate election candidates with slaver mandates. That kind of makes sense. And individualist pops are less likely to vote for candidates with slaver mandates. Again, that kind of makes sense. The people that don't want the slaves don't want somebody who wants slaves, and vice versa. Slaver mandate no longer possible if slavery is outlawed. Again, that kind of makes sense. You're not going to send your nation on a backpedaling to allow slavery if you've had a slave rebellion and you've done outlawed slaves. That just kind of doesn't make sense. It is now possible to set difficulty in multiplayer. Ooh, that's nice. So what the hell are all these places building? Oh, right. Okay, we'll get into this later, what's going on here. Because that is part of the changes. Symbols of Domination is now available for everyone. Nice. Alright, Platypus Species Portrait and Paradox Empire Flag is now available for everyone. Very cool. I guess that was previously a developer only, or if you had a specific version. Balance, technology cost now increased by 10% per owned planet, which is huge. And this is up from 0%, and by 1% per population, which is down by 2%. This is a pretty huge thing. Wait, these guys? Oh, right, yeah, those guys need to embark. And it's huge because our empire is gigantic. We have 110 planets or something to that effect, right? So that means our science research is like up by 10,000% or something like that. Base plus or 718% scientist. However, at some point it balances out, but then also at another point, it's going to exceed, right? So like if you have one planet with 10 population you know, you're not going to get as much research as you will from a planet with, say, a 30 population or 28. Whereas if you have 10 populations with, you know, one person, that's going to be the same as one population with 10, except that it's going to be more expensive because the planet's owned. So you want larger colonies with a denser population, and you want less planets now. Unlocking spaceport technologies now makes you more likely to get research options for new reactor techs. Okay. Spiritualists and materialists now get tech progress towards frequency tuning for researching space whales. Okay. Ethics. Fanatic individualists, pops, are now more unhappy in collectivist empires and no longer have increased ethics divergence. Okay. Alright, we're just finishing up healing our armies here. Because we gonna need them, you know? We oh, wait. He had one that was... How do I land just that one? It doesn't look like I can. Alright, reland them. Alright, he's still healing. Individualist pops are now more unhappy in collectivist empires, no longer have increased ethics divergence from, it looks like, individualists. Fanatic xenophobes rivalries now provide 50% more influence. Traditional xenophobe rivalries now provide 25% more influence. Fanatic xenophiles, alien alliance influence costs reduced by 100%. So it doesn't cost anything for influence to be in an alliance if you are a xenophile. Or a fanatic xenophile. Alright, now I can pull them up. Armies. Alright, embark them. Regular xenophiles, alliance influence... Oh wait, no, sorry. Fanatic xenophile, maximum number of embassies increased by 2. Regular xenophile, alliance cost reduced by 50%, and embassies increased by 1. And it makes sense, you know, that the fanatics have a larger or, you know, more severe bonus or penalty than the traditional ones would be. Oh, we got colony ships. Fantastic. That's another thing. Colonists, and this is further down the list, but the colony ships now tell you what kind of colony ship it is. And it shows you all the traits there, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Alright, we do want these guys to come down here, though. Let's send them here. To this gigantic one right there. Alright, we're going to try that. See how these guys do. See if the game is actually... If the Baron colonizing is actually broken. Ooh, frozen. We don't want that one for these guys. Baron. There we go. Fantastic. Fanatic militarist no longer gains additional influence from rivalries and no longer have an increased influence cost for being in an alliance. Militarist no longer gains additional influence from rivalries, no longer have an increased influence cost for being in an alliance. So it's kind of nerfed and unnerfed at the same time there. Fanatic pacifist populations are now more unhappy in militarist empires, and they no longer increase food output, but rather reduce growth needed for a new population by 30%. And regular pacifists, more unhappy in militarist empires, and the population food or growth needed is 15%. Components. Strikecraft engagements range was significantly increased. Strikecraft launch time reduced from 5 to 3 days. Fighter movement speed increased from 2 to 3.5. Whoopsie. Oh, we've got inactive buildings. Oh, okay. He's building somebody there. That's fantastic. Let's upgrade all these while we're here.
Complete. Construction complete.
Bomber movement speed increased from 1.5 to 3.0. Chemical thrusters chance to invade reduced from 10 to 5. Ion from 20 to 10. Plasma thrusters from 30 to 15. And impulse thrusters from 40 to 20. This is a huge nerf for the... I call them frigates, the corvettes and the destroyers, because they're much more agile ships. They are now much less agile, and capital ships, aka battleships and cruisers, now have a much more significant chance of actually hitting them because their evasion chance has been nerfed tremendously. Buildings, Research Institute modifier to research speeds reduced from 10 to 5, and colony shelter ethics divergence reduced from plus 20 to plus 10. Government forms, theocratic republic, additional core planets reduced from 2 to 1, and transcendent republics reduced from 4 to plus 2. So those ones no longer receive a static bonus to the amount of colonies they can control before they need a sector. Alright, traits. Aggressive and Butcher. The aggressive fire rate bonus was reduced from 20 to 10%, and the Butcher army damage bonus was reduced from 20 to 10%. Glory Seeker army morale damage bonus reduced from 10 to 5%. Modifiers. Youthful Elite modifier effect on leader lifespan reduced from 50 years to 25 years. So again, more nerfs, and it seems like there's a lot of nerfs in this patch. And that's not really such a bad thing, because they're trying to balance the game out, right? I mean, as you can see, we just walked all over the AI in this game and the last game. So having all these little nerfs and stuff, these balances kicking around, will make it a much more difficult game to play. We can hope, right? Right? All right, now for the good stuff, the AI. Computer-controlled enemies will start outlawing AI over time during a certain crisis. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the AI crisis that we've been trying to avoid ourselves. Increased negative opinion scaling for relative power of subjects, right? So if I'm in here, relative power of subjects, negative 72. If I come up to this guy, his will probably be less? No, it's the same. Okay, interesting. Not quite sure why it's the same exact. I seriously doubt their fleet powers are identical. AI will now colonize faraway systems if colonize non-adjacent defined is enabled. I'm guessing that's an option in one of the HTML files. Fixed a bug where the AI would not use planetary edicts due to too small stockpile cap. Empires that were previously controlled by a player, for example, if said player drops in multiplayer, will now refrain from making any major changes to the country for a period of 10 years. This, if you're in a multiplayer game, this will give you a chance to, reboot your system and get back into the game if that's what you need before your country is at war with, a fallen empire or something to that effect. The AI has outlawed slavery in the 5 minutes that you were disconnected from the game, something to that effect.
Construction complete.
Fixed a bug where AI was modifying their species with bad traits, effectively giving them lots of traits. So, kind of like, what we were trying to do with these guys here, I think? No, that's us. And look at that, we did colonize it properly. Although we are seriously in a crap for food. All right. Oh, and this is... that's in a sector. We can't do anything about that. How's this one? We haven't quite colonized that one yet. All right. Where are these guys? Yeah, they're right here. Right, so how we fiddled around with giving these guys a negative perk or two to kind of try and bump the trait points up. It didn't quite work that way, but apparently it was working for the AIs. Fixed a bug where military-focused sectors would not build military stations. Fixed an issue where AI would not enslave any pops. So all these buildings of the in our colonies, right? In the sectors, to where they've been building like these hydroponic farms, right? They've been doing that. Holy crap! In an attempt to, fix a problem. But again, what is with all the food? We don't need 39 food here.
Construction complete.
And look at all the food that he's actually producing on the planet.
Construction complete.
Hopefully in time this will kind of rectify itself, because these guys, they're building, observatories now, they're building crew quarters, they're building solar panel networks, even though I would much prefer these solar panels, right? So I would much prefer them do that,
Construction complete.
and hopefully he doesn't, change that out. Where were we? Diplomacy. AI will no longer accept a white piece when they are winning in war score. Ooh, so that was glitched out. Interesting. AI is now more open to trading access, migration rights, and some personalities, research treaties. So that would allow us to say, oh hey,
Construction complete.
well they hate us, but hey, Pagavan Imperium, we would like civilian access to do some research, right? Because we've got this thing where we have to research, different alien life forms from around the galaxy. Will you let us into your to your stuff with our civilian science ship? No, we will not. Now they're going to be more likely to allow us to come in there and do that. Fixed a bug where AI would offer peace deals that give allies war goals to the player. Fixed AI spamming the player with military access offers. I haven't had that yet. However, we have had the Fallen Empires spamming us with demands. Hopefully that got fixed as well with that. AI is now more aggressive against easily defeated targets, which means, kind of like Civilization, if you are weak, you will die. In the economy, they fixed an issue where the AI would not disband ships, even when running a heavy energy credit deficit. And we've kind of seen that, right? With, the small-ass empire like this coming out with, 30, 40,000 power? Sectors. Respect the resource setting will now prevent... Where'd it go? Sector from building the wrong type of building for a tile regardless of special circumstances, right? So like what we just saw in one of these places, right? Like here. Where this guy's got 16. He built an observatory and a synchronized defense, which he doesn't need, really. But, he's got all this food. Well, this has one food there. Well, the special circumstance would be that instead of food, he built energy. So if respecting tower resources was not clicked, he would just kind of overwrite that. I think that's how that works. Which is... Right, so respect tile resources. Alright, so if I click these, they will just kind of build whatever they need. I think that's how that works. Previously it was broke and it didn't do jack. It was horrible. Ooh, 44k. Nice! And we're up to 52k. That's fantastic. Improve the way sectors determine which resources the country needs when constructing buildings. Fantastic. That's why they've been building the all the space stations. The space station improvements, such as this guy. He built a synchronized defense. I don't need that.
Construction complete.
This guy built a observatory. Okay, that's fine. You're increasing the science output. Fixed a bug where AI sectors would move pops back and forth. Okay, I haven't really seen that yet. Or wait, maybe we did, because we saw at one point there was a colony up here that we had, and I think it was this one. Yeah, where they moved some Kalmorians onto this planet before we did anything. You know, we were wanting to build droids here, and they just moved a bunch of people into this place, and that kind of ruined our plans there. Ooh, fantastic! The tree. Oh yeah. Among the asteroids around RX-2893, a tree is drifting through the emptiness of space. A tree? You ask yourself. An unprecedented and highly unlikely event. The tree is surrounded in a protective bubble, reminiscent of an energy shield. Suddenly, we detect some hostile space dwellers on approach. This coincided with some sap leaking through the tree's shield while we collected samples. Could it have agitated the creature? Ooh, interesting. So we've got a scientist that needs to get the hell out of Dodge, and he's doing just that. All right, so let's bring in 70s fervor to kill these guys while I keep reading this. Fixed budget issues that were preventing sectors from properly managing spaceports and constructing ships. I don't want sectors constructing ships. Okay? Seriously, I don't want sectors building ships. Period. End of story. Warfare, improved military tactics and handling of units, improved handling of military fleets versus transport fleets. AI now fights crises. Fantastic. Right? This would have never happened in 1.1. Well, hopefully it would have never happened. AI should be better at trying to regain control of occupied planets. AI should be better at trying to invade planets taken by AI uprising. Okay. User interface. Diplomatic notifications and pop-ups have been improved. Okay, those haven't really been improved. Hopefully we'll see that. End of combat UI has been improved. I've seen this, and I like it. Colony ships now show which pop is carrying. Right, we've seen that. Localization of armor shield penetration upgraded. If a weapon has both shield penetration and a corresponding reduced damage to shields, the two effects are replaced by a single line ignores X% of shields. Habitability icons in galaxy map and systems have been improved, which we see that right here. So it's showing, partially green, which means we can only inhabit some of them. This is beta. Added a new experimental option for GUI scaling in the options menu. So let's take a look at this. Settings, graphics, refresh rate, UI scaling, right? So if we increase that to, say, 2.0. Wait, did that say we had to restart? Oh, it only goes up to 2.0. Yeah, we have to restart the game for that. All right, so I will try that offline and let you guys know how that works out. User modding. Getting close to the end here, but God, we still got a lot. Ported system for weights triggers on songs from Hall 4 to EU4. Fixed so that effect set name can use localization system. Move domination victory conditions to defines. Added NOR operator. Species appearance screen is now moddable. Species city appearance screen is now moddable. Ship's appearance screen is now moddable. Added number energy trigger. Reading a single on-action entry from multiple files will now append the events to the list entry rather than overwhelming it. This should now allow more mods to be compatible. Fantastic. Pre-scripted countries can now set the attribute disallow editing to yes to disable the edit button in the Empire section view before game start. Performance optimized daily AI calculations. Hopefully this will speed up the game. And we're paused. Sorry. Hopefully this will speed up game. The speed during endgame for some users with machines that just chug and chug and chug the further on you go. Fixed frame rate drop when having one or more vessels selected. We've experienced that. Graphics. Lighting for ships preview images has been improved. 8 new event images added to the game. Textures for massive reptilians have been improved. Improved textures for space event assets. Optimized textures for event assets. Increased texture resolution for ancient drone stations. Optimized textures for pirate ships. Updated textures for generic stations. Increased texture resolution for AI cores. Optimized textures for AI ships. Improved texture for Anthropod colony ship. Added cover art for digital OST. Ooh, yippee. And then a insane amount of bugs. Let's see if I can pull this up, because I really don't want to read these. 1.1 patch notes. I don't know if I'll be able to pull this up here. Come on. Right, we have to click the search button. Current version, patch 1.1. Is this it? 1.1, Clark. Here we go. So all the stuff I just read is available in-game. Just open the little question mark box, hit patch 1.1, and you can get to it here. And the only bit that I have not read, that I'm not actually going to read because it's just a long, is the bug fixes here. So you've got all of these bug fixes. You can pause the video here to read it if you would like. There we go, and that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get, because it's time for the end of this episode. We have done a little bit of gameplay. A little bit of things happened. We got a couple colonies started. We let this guy build a little bit more of his stuff that he needs to build. Oh, look at that. He's ready to build more. Our minerals are just about maxed. We're going to have to do something about that. So, if you enjoyed this episode and you're happy for patch 1.1 the way I am, hopefully it does not break our game. If it does, we will be starting afresh. Hopefully it does not. So, until next time, I'm Loquid. You are you. Hit that like button. Have a great day. Peace out.